place, I got four walls around me. I got the sun in the sky, all the water surrounds me. Oh, hey, oh. Yeah, I win now, but sometimes I lose. I've been battered, but I never bruise. It's not so bad. And I say, hey, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just gotta say it's alright. It's alright. Janie sings on the corner, what keeps her from dying? Yeah, let them say what they want, she won't stop trying. Oh, hey, oh. She might stumble if they push her around. She might fall, but she'll never lie down. It's not so bad. And I say, hey, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just gotta say it's alright. It's alright. There's always some sorrow, but it's a double-edged knife, and there's always tomorrow. Oh, hey, oh, it's up to you now if you sink or swim. Just keep the faith, and your ship will come in. It's not so bad. And I say, well, hey, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just gotta say it's alright. Hey, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just gotta say it's alright. It's alright. It's alright, it's alright. I got a smile on my face. Here's the announcement, lady. Hey, ladies!
That anybody under 40, that reference probably just went whoosh. Jerry Lewis for any of you playing along at home. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How is everybody on this balmy, spring-like winter day? Woohoo! Rev Jonathan is in Hawaii, and we feel really, we feel really sorry for him. How's the sunscreen? Yep. So we are carrying on as usual. We're going to have lots of fun. I just want to draw your attention to the announcements that are in your program. There's one change that mentions the women's group tomorrow. That is not true. It is the 26th of January, not the 12th. So don't come tomorrow night for women's group because they won't be here. The tax receipts, Carmen will start making those up, and preferred method of delivery is email because it saves a wackado on postage. So Carmen needs to know your email address if we don't have it. If you have moved in the past year, she needs to have your updated information for the tax receipt. So if you can get that to Carmen ASAP, that would be fantastic. Class this afternoon is carrying on because you're teaching it, yes? Helen is teaching class this afternoon, but Wednesday's class has been postponed until Jonathan gets back. And that's all I have to say. So I'm going to call up Helen Valleau.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome. How are you this morning? Awesome, awesome. Yes, yes. Good morning to everyone online. And I'd like to say actually hello, Linda Audette. She's in Sault Ste. Marie. She sent me an email this week saying, looking forward to seeing you at the center. And I went, I'm so excited to see you. And she goes, no, I'll see you online. I went, so, hi, Linda. And welcome to anyone who's new. Anyone here for the first time? Just raise your hand. Welcome. Thank you for bringing your consciousness here. And we have a new welcome table over at the side, which Margaret Ann, was our meditation practitioner, she'll be there at the end of service if you have any questions about the center. We will also be handing out a postcard to newcomers. We don't have it today, so you just have to come back next week and get yours. Yeah, which will offer you 10% off in the bookstore. No, you can still get 10% off in the bookstore, just tell them I sent you. And as well, for those of you who haven't seen these postcards, they're hanging around the center. We have 20,000 of them that are being delivered over this next week to people in our area, letting us know. Letting them know about the center and what's going on here. And this is something that's going to start happening 4 times a year so that we start getting our name out there. So you can have a look at these. They're really well done. Jonathan designed them, and they're heading into people's mailboxes. It's so exciting. Actually, I'm in the postal code area. I'll get one. So we are here to live out loud this year. And living out loud means living authentically. It means being who you are. Love, light, truth, beauty, wisdom, joy, passion. And so, on that note of living out loud, I'm going to invite you to stand up and sing our first song with our congregation.
It's all the good. I cannot do all the good that the world needs. But the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs. But the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do.
So this morning, to get us started, I'd like to invite up our practitioner intern today, Judy Southern, who is just this brilliant, grounded, present woman who has stepped into being a practitioner in all ways, is just absolutely filled with love and soul and purpose. And so, to start us off, I'm going to invite you up, Judy. And do you want the lectern
I
here?
do.
Okay. I'm going to here for you.
Thank you. Just in case my mouth gets dry. I'm so nervous. Hello, everybody. It's so good to be here. I have a quote for you from Ernest Holmes to start this off. All the power in the universe is with you. Feel it, know it, and then act as if it is true. And it is true. Universe, power, spirit, the one, divine, love, light, and so on, or simply God. And I call it God. And I call it whatever name resonates with you. So, just before I go on with this, taking me back about 9 years ago, January the 15th, 2006 was the first day I walked through these doors. I was looking for something, clearly I was looking for something, and I didn't know what was ahead of me. what challenges I was going to face. And as I look back in these last 9 years, they've been almost a decade of right actions and right decisions, painful decisions, difficult decisions, good decisions that brought me to where I am this very day. And so as I look back, it's really all perfect and has all fallen into place. Now fast forward to practitioner studies, which I had no idea I was going to do, but it just kind of happened. Right decisions again. On the very first night of practitioner studies, Jonathan asked each of us, "Why are you here? Why are you in practitioner studies?" And with a tear in my eye, actually, I said, "I want to know God. And I want to know that I know God." Because I didn't feel I knew that. I knew it intellectually, but I didn't feel that I knew this. And today I realize when I look back, I was wanting to know who I am. Because I know that each of us is God expressing. But that wasn't that clear a year and a half ago. I really wanted to know myself. I did a meditation a couple of weeks ago, December 21st, on light. And there was a quote, I used a lot of quotes on light, and one of the quotes was from Emerson. And that quote has had a tremendous shift on me in knowing who I am and who we are. And the quote is, "From within or from behind, light shines through us and makes us aware that we are nothing, and that light is all." Light is all. We are nothing. And Emerson is the one who tells us to get our bloated nothingness out of the way. That really, really resonated with me. That quote has been sitting with me for the last month, and I've been really recognizing who I am and who each of us is. And then Joel Goldsmith in the Science of Mind magazine this month, which is really, really incredible, because every quote is the top one's from Joel Goldsmith from Practicing the Presence, and the bottom quote is from Ernest Holmes, and then there's the reading. He says, "God is working out its life as our life." Now, I was brought up a Catholic, and so my version of God was a little different from what my understanding of God is now and who I am. And my sister, God bless her, I bless her dedication, her passion to her religion. We don't talk too much about religion or spirituality, actually. She used to say to me, "Think of God." I don't know how or what she thought of, but I sure didn't know what to think about. I didn't know how to think of God. I do know now what to think, because I know who I am, I know who each of us is. And I have known intellectually for a while, but that Emerson quote really had a profound effect on me, and so I really feel I know. I know there's more. And this is a little plug for the Emerson course coming up in March, actually. I'm going to be there. It's an online course, and I'm going to hear and learn about Emerson even more than I have up until now, because I know that I will listen with new ears and see with new eyes and gain more profound understandings of who I am. I am so in awe of how it all works. I'm so in awe, and I continue to be in awe of how it works. And getting out of the way is really sinking in, really sinking in. Light is all. We are nothing. We are vehicles for God. We are conduits for the light. And I know there's still some work to do. You know that analogy we've all heard about the drop in the ocean? The whole ocean is in the drop. All of God is in us, but God is not all who we are. The ocean is much bigger than the drop of water. God is much more than the ocean. The ocean is much more. So back to the beginning, quote, "The power of the universe is always with me. I know it, I feel it, and I live the truth. I live knowing that this is the truth. And I invite you to know it, to feel it, and to live knowing that it is the truth. God moves in me, God moves in each of us, as us, through us. And I know that God and I know God, and I know that I know God. I can actually say that now. So from that first night of practitioner studies, I know God, and I know that I know God. So my affirmation for you is, if you'll say it with me a couple of times after you hear it, I know that the power of God is always with me. I live knowing this truth. I know that the power of God is always with me. I live knowing this truth. I know that the power of God is always with me. I live knowing this truth. Namaste. I honor the divine in you. Thank you.
Here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. Here to remind you how much you're truly loved.
I know that there is one divine energy, one infinite intelligence, one love, one God that permeates all that is, that permeates every cell in our body, every fiber of our being. And I know that this is God. And I know that we are one with this energy, this love, this being, that God is who we are, and we are connected at our source through God. And I affirm the light that we are, the love that we are. And I know that each of us is a flame, is a spark on this divine candelabra, this universal candelabra of life, of love, and of light. And that as we shine our light, we increase and strengthen the light of all of the lights around us, the lights beside us. And together we shine our light on this beautiful world, and we create extraordinary lives because of who we are, because of the God that is in us. We are God expressing. We are eternal. We are love. We are light. I am so grateful for this knowledge of who each of us is. I am grateful for who I am and who each of us is, as lights, as love, as God expressing. And so I release these words to the perfect law of mind, and I know it is so. I know it is so, and I know it to be the truth. I let it go. I let God be God. It is done, and together we say, and so it is.
I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved.
Thank you. It's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
We are so, so blessed to have an incredible band, the Queen Street Band. And so I'm going to hand it over to Pierre Gautreau and the band and let them have at it, as James Mellon would say. Thank you.
This is a song I wrote years ago, and it's certainly, I was looking at the lyrics again when I was deciding on this week's song, and it certainly is ringing very true as the years have gone by. I'm very quickly hurtling to 50 in the next month, so the passage of time, I'm becoming acutely aware of it, and so the lyrics certainly make that front and center. This song is called Life in My Years. If you hear me saying lice in my ears, it is not that. Life is so busy, filling in the time. Are we passengers or piloting our own minds? Coming and going, are we truly knowing? You and I and all are intertwined. Here we are, here we go, where or when we don't know. So I'm gonna ride the wave, gonna walk the road I've paved without fear, with life in my years, life in my years. And when life interferes with my plans, I hit the wall. I remember that the road is a long in time. The wall will seem so small. Some say a life well lived is measured by the total sum of our days. But it's what I've done with the years that I've won that'll bring me peace at the end of my stay. I rode the wave, I walked the road I paved without fear, with life in my ears, life in my ears, life in my with no regret. I saw things I won't forget. I smelt a summer breeze, swam in many seas, helped raise a child from birth, showed her what life is worth, and I have love, so I check all the above. Life in my ears, life in my ears.
Thank you. And yes, you can check all the above, Pierre. You've done it. You've done it. And you live your life from love. And thank you for that beautiful song. Thank you. Wow. I love the music here. And I'm sorry, I didn't move the podium back for all of you. I meant to do that so you'd have a better view of the band. I'll remember next time. So, last week, Jonathan spoke about the first Declaration of Principle. And we're moving through the Declarations of Principles, which were written in 1927 by Dr. Ernest Holmes. And these Declarations of Principles, of which there are 13, were written after a reporter once asked Holmes to put in his own words, briefly, what religious science teaches. So his answer wasn't brief, because he came up with 13 principles. But the bottom line is these declarations of principles for religious science are to awaken our own inherent magnificence. And the principles have nothing to do with anything that we're against, because in religious science, we're not against anything. We're for everything, something, everything wonderful. And so this is what we invite you to step into, is what is wonderful for you, what is good for you, what is nurturing for you, what is loving for you, and live your life from that place. So last week was, we believe in God, the living Spirit, Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, self-existent cause. Now, if you want to know what that means, you can go back and listen to Jonathan last week, because I'm doing number 2. I'm on number 2. And the second divine principle is this one, so the self-existent cause, manifests itself in and through all of creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. Okay, I'll say that one more time. This one, the self-existent cause, manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. So what does that mean? Well, we have a belief in a creative principle, that there is an intelligence behind all things, behind all life. And I'm just going to call myself out on this, because I got asked this in ministerial class. And we have these stand and delivers where Reverend James will ask a question, and he'll say, so-and-so, you answer that. And of course, and I'm online doing this, and sometimes, when you know all the answers to the ones other people are supposed to be answering? Yeah, I know the ones that other people are supposed to be answering. And he says, so, Helen, explain first cause. And I'm like, what's the right words for this? I went, consciousness? Because of course, that's the go-to. And he's like, no, it's the spark back of all life. I will never forget that. But it's that, that moment of, oh my God, now I don't know the answer. But it's this intelligence, this spark of life behind all things. And that this principle is unitary. It's whole. It's not multiple. We're the multiplicity of it. But the spark of life is unified. And it's outside of time or space because it's infinite. It has no time or space. It's independent of anything, and it goes beyond the physical world that we know. It is what we call the infinite creative source of all life. And it's not a created entity. It's not something, oh, here it is. Yet it is pre-existing because it is that spark back of all life. And it forms the base energy of which all things have emerged, from which we have emerged. So does that help you out a little? So as cause, this principle represents the divine intelligent mind, which has the power to create. We are individualized, divine intelligent minds, divine intelligent beings. So we too have that power to create. And this principle declares that life did not spring from the universe, but the universe sprang from life. So from that spark, the universe sprang. So everything that exists is a manifestation of the divine mind. And yes, therefore, it is in us. And creation is the play of life upon itself. And we get to play and create our life. And that is limitless. What we can create in our lives and what we can do in our lives is absolutely limitless. For there is only that one divine presence, that infinite creative energy, that spark back of all life, and it is cause, and we are a cause in our life. So, my question to you this morning is, what is the energy that you are bringing into your life? Because cause is energy, right? It's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's not an entity. It's not out here. We can't grab onto it. This is an effect, not a cause. Cause is energy. What is the energy that you are bringing to your life? Because it's either energy from a place of fear or a place of love. And that is where we have choice. Because we can move from fear and raise our own vibrational energy by stepping into love. Now, we might not go from one extreme to the next, or one polar, what am I trying to say there, Tom? Polarity, thank you. One polarity to the next polarity. We may move up along it, and that's okay. But where are you moving to? Because the one thing the universe doesn't do is collapse into itself. And we got to make sure that we're not collapsing into fear and becoming some kind of idea based on fear and creating our life from that place. So, in knowing that we're this powerful being, it is so important to utilize the practices to remind ourselves of the truth of who we are. And we use prayer and contemplation and visualization and affirmations to constantly remind ourselves of the truth of who we are, so that we are in that place of elevating our own vibration. And having a practice is really, really important, but there's something else I'm going to ask you to start to let go of. And that is judgment. Judgment of ourselves and judgments about others. Although we wouldn't have judgment about others if we didn't have judgment about ourselves. Because we're our own worst enemy at that point. So, what are judgments? They're opinions expressed as facts. That's all they are, based on our experience. We experience something, we create this opinion about it, and we make it a fact for us. Or we make it a fact about the other person. And I'm going to ask you to start to really pay attention and let go and release those judgments, because they're not serving us in our life. In the Talmud, which is a sacred Jewish text, it says, "Unhappy is he who mistakes the branch for the tree, the shadow for the substance. Unhappy is he who mistakes the branch for the tree, the shadow for the substance." Right? Think of the shadows as the effects. The substance is who we are. And we get so caught up in all the stuff out there, and we forget to come back into ourselves. And we often look to the facts that are seen in one moment in time. One brief moment in time. And we've made a judgment about ourselves or about that person. And so now start to let that go. I was listening to an interview on CBC. I'm a CBC geek. And it was Q on Radio 1. And it was an interview with this musician. And I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. But it was quite remarkable because this musician was talking about his anxiety disorder And in his early 20s, he had such severe anxiety, he couldn't leave his bedroom. He couldn't play his music. He couldn't do anything. He was housebound, and his parents did not know what to do with him. And he went and he sought help, and he saw a lot of different people, and he started to do some work. And he started to realize that really the anxiety was his mind grabbing onto an idea that just started looping around in his brain, creating a story. It escalated, which elevated his fear. And of course, it kept cycling around for him, and his anxiety grew and grew and grew. And anxiety is either fear about the future or something from our past. We're not really present to who we are and what is in this moment. We've abandoned ourselves. And so he realized that he had to learn not to grab onto the story, because he knew that was just the wrong way to go, that was going to start creating this whole vicious cycle. The other thing he realized is he had to stop judging himself. And he said the things that he would say to himself in his own mind, he would never, ever say out loud to anyone else. He would never have spoken to anybody like that, because it would have been so cruel. But he was being so cruel to himself. And how many of you can relate to that, right? We say things to ourselves that, I wouldn't say that or call anybody else that. And so to stop judging yourself and to step in to some loving kindness and some compassion and empathy for yourself, that you're on this journey, and to bring yourself back to this present moment, and to understand that really what you are is light, as Judy so beautifully said. It's all light, it's all energy, and that we can elevate into that lightness of being. Now, it was really remarkable that he was able to be so vigilant and work so vigilantly in releasing his anxiety. And he says, it's not like I don't have anxiety, but I know how to manage it. And he's now on a world tour with his band, which he never would have believed was possible for himself. And so, what do you keep beating yourself up for? I know for myself, in last February, I got ill, and I had an infection, and had to go on lots of antibiotics, which I don't normally do, and ended up having dental surgery, and it was not a fun time. It was not really something I enjoyed. Although I did heal super, super fast. Super fast. Prayer. And once I started to kind of get back on my feet, I felt like I needed something more. I needed to do something more physically that was going to really strengthen my body. And so I'm like, okay, what is it? What is it? What is it? And what kept coming was Bikram yoga, Bikram yoga, Bikram yoga. And I'm going, no, too much heat, too much heat. I have enough heat. I don't need any more heat. No. And I had to pay attention, and I listened, and I went to my first yoga class. And I had done Bikram about 10 years before. So, I knew the routine and figured, okay, I can get myself through this. And I did. I got through the first class, and that was okay. And then I went to the second class, and the third, and the fourth, and the fifth. And I was dying. I was dying. No, I was dying. Really, I was dying. I was dying. It was the worst experience of my life. It was horrible. It really was. It was so horrible. I was sweating so much. I had so much anxiety. I didn't know what to drink, how much to drink before. What do I eat before that's not going to make me feel like I'm going to throw up? How much do I drink during the class? I'd go home and I'd be like, okay, give me more water. Give me more water. Give me more water. And I was trying to figure out what to wear that I kind of looked okay and cool, and what do I do with my hair? And my hair was like all over the place because I couldn't tie it back. It wasn't long enough, and I couldn't put a clip in it because then if you go on the floor, you have to move the clip out. And oh my God, it was horrible. And then one day I had put on all this body lotion. And I sweat the body lotion, and I sweat a couple liters of water, and I go to get onto the floor, and I slid off the towel because it was so slippery from all the body lotion. And it was like, and I'm breathing like my heart. I thought I was going to die. I really did. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have a heart attack. And it was crazy making, and I was beating myself up, and I'm like, I can't do this, but I know I have to do this, and what do I do about this? And I'd be like, God, please get me through this class. There was no unity left. It was gone. It was out the window. It was gone. I'm like, God, there's a God out there that's going to save me in this class. Please let me make it through this class. And I promise, God, I promise I'll come back if I make it through this one. And I was praying out there. And my mind was running amok. Amok. It was crazy making. And I had all these judgments. Because, in class, Bikram, it's also supposed to be very meditative. And you're supposed to only look forward at yourself in the mirror. And I'm like, look at there. Look at there. And I'd be like, that person's older than me and they have no cellulite. And that person is really bendy. And that person, oh good, there's somebody else that's struggling like me. And I was comparing myself to everybody and judging myself and telling myself things like, what am I doing? And how did I get this way? What happened to me in 10 years? Oh my God, look at my body. I'm not as flexible. I'm older. I'm this, I'm that. And it was like, bring it on. Bring it on. And then I was like, okay. Finally, it took about 4 months. 4 months of hauling my butt there 3 to 5 times a week. Yeah. Before I felt like I could stand there and be and have my mind focused. And I'll tell you, I gained an awful lot of compassion for people who start out in a spiritual practice, who start out meditating. Because I've been doing a lot of spiritual practices for a while. So, a lot of it comes fairly easily to me. Oh, bless you, when you start something new. It's not easy. All the judgments, I'm not doing it right, I'm not as good as so-and-so, all those comparisons and judgments. And it takes doing it over and over and over, no matter how crappy you feel and how much sweat it's taking. There's a moment where everything changes. And it's like, I'm here. I'm present. Surrender. Accept. And be. And it's all good. It's all good. But it takes that, you got to do the work, right? To get to that place. And for me, it did take a lot of sweat. And I still sweat a lot. But it's now. And I still have my moments. The other day, I'm like, I couldn't stand on one leg to save my life. I'm like, what the heck's going on? I had no balance. Everything was off. But here's the thing. It's only in that moment of time. And everything can change in the next moment when you release the judgment and accept and surrender into spirit and go, be present. Know that there's just only one thing going on. It is spirit. It is love. It is light. It is truth. And let go of the rest. Let it go. And so, can you let go of the judgments? Can you trust and know that by coming in to the truth of who you are, everything's in divine order. It'll all fall into place. You don't have to figure out how you're going to get there. Be. And one of the most incredible practices is a resiliency practice. And a resiliency practice is simply putting your hands on your heart, because your heart is way more powerful than your brain, emits way more energy, and you breathe. I'm going to invite you to do that. Put your hands on your heart. Breathe. Breathe. And go into love. And allow yourself to be present to the love, to the light within you. Do you feel how that just kind of drops the energy? Do you feel that? Settles the energy. So when you find yourself getting up here and all those judgments, stop. Put your hands on your heart and breathe. They've actually done studies on this, resiliency. It's about building resiliency. It's about, being self-compassionate, self-loving. And what it does is it actually drops the cortisol levels in the body. Cortisol levels are, your adrenals, they go fire off. And all that energy gets up here. Bring it back. Go within. Go to truth. And trust and know that there is that incredible power within that is spirit, connected. Always, always, infinitely connected. And so by bringing yourself into this place, can allow you to get out of the judgments, out of the looping of all that negative self-talk, so that then you can really step into the wholeness of who you are. I remember once, this is about, 11 years ago. I think our daughter Mahala was about 9 or 10 at the time, and we were in the Laurentians, and we were walking down this road, and Mahala was in front of us, and Derek and I were behind, and you just see this delightful little girl, right? This beautiful child, and she had this aura about her. And I said to Derek, I said, wow. It was so evident that she was just pure light. And I said, as her parent, what if I could trust that everything within her, around her, and that will come to her will be absolutely perfect for her on her journey. Because she's light. And it was so, it was just like those moments where you just see it. And it's like, can I trust that as her mother? Yeah, I think Derek laughed at me at that point. But there are those moments when, yes, I can, because I saw it. I saw it. It was like, everything's okay. Everything's in divine order. Everything's perfect. It's all good. It's all good. And that's who we are. If we can start to understand and start to feel that light around us and let ourselves emanate light and love, we can only attract in what we're putting out there. And we can't attract anything that is a vibrational level lower. If we're up here, we're going to attract more of this. We're not going to attract the lower levels into our life. So to open up and to bring yourself back into that heart space, that loving, beautiful, pure space of light, and know that this is who you are. This is who you truly are. So, okay, I had 40 pages. And that's only because James Mellon is having us do this system. So there's a lot of pages. There's so many pages. Oh my gosh. I I had emailed Carmen. I said, could you print off my talk, please? She goes, it's 40 pages? Yeah, it's 40 pages. It's 40 pages. Oh, so on that note, I invite you to untether your soul. Untether your soul and bring yourself the freedom for, this divine power that we call God, light, spirit, the universe, whatever it is that you want to call it. That is who we are. And it is only one. It is the only thing going on. And all we have to do is open ourselves up and face the light and receive it and be it in our lives. So on that note, I say thank you and namaste. Namaste. And we are going to sing. I'll punt. Punt. For those of you who weren't here last week, we have new cards for those of you who are in the stewardship program. It's I choose to step up, and that's for those of you who are on the automatic donation program. So thank you very much for those of you who stepped up this year. Thank you very much to all of you for being here today. And on the back of it is a thank you, and the board and Reverend Jonathan Zenz expressing our gratitude to you for stepping up. And it is at this time that the baskets are going to go around. And so I invite you to hold in your hand whatever it is that you have to give to the center. You've already given by being here, by bringing your consciousness here today. And thank you. Thank you for all that you are giving today. We receive it gratefully and know that we continue to use what we receive to bring more classes, bring more workshops, continue to renovate the center. I think renovations are going to start next week again. Ralph is going to come back and finish up a few things. We're going to have French doors put on as an entrance to the sanctuary, and that room out there in the gathering place, it's going to be gone. It's all going to be open space, and we're going to have our prayer room at the back around the corner here finished, so that if you want private prayer sessions with a practitioner, then we'll be able to meet you back there, and instead of sitting out in the noise after service. And yes, if there is anything that you would like treatment for, prayer for, if there's anything heavy on your heart, please, Judy, Margaret Ann is here, I'm here, we're always, and Lena is here as well, she's a practitioner intern, and Sharose, thank you. We're always delighted and happy to pray with you. All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right. So, point of power, and I'm going to invite you to stand up, please.
In this moment I feel joy. In this moment I feel joy. In this moment I feel joy. I feel joy. I feel joy. I feel joy. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now. In this moment I feel grace. In this moment I feel grace. In this moment I feel grace. I feel grace. I feel grace. I feel grace. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now. In this moment I feel love. In this moment I feel love. this moment I feel love. I feel love. I feel love. I feel love. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now.
I'm going to invite Judy up. Come on up.
Little marks are gone. Knowing in this moment who we are as individual expressions of one, as individual expressions of God, and knowing who God is and who we are, I give thanks. I give thanks for these beautiful gifts given with love, given with light, given with who we are, knowing that these gifts go forth to help us, to guide us, to create a wonderful environment in this center so that we can continue to know the truth of who we are, and impact the world that needs us so desperately right now in these times, that we can continue to create extraordinary lives, amazing lives, and shine our light and shine our love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I release these words, I let them go. It is done, and together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Judy. So I invite you all to now take a deep breath. Let yourself be present to your brilliance.
Now that I know the truth, I can't go back to what I used to do. I can't pretend or ignore or go back to what I believed before. I can't live without your love. I can't live without your light. I can't live without your message. I can't live without your warmth. I can't live without your wisdom. I can't live without your message.
This message of wholeness, of unity, of oneness, of light, of love, of peace, of joy, of beauty, of infinite potentiality. This is God. This is God expressing in each and every moment. This is life. This is also who we are. And so I know and I declare with my word right here, right now, that there's only one thing going on, and it is love. It is that divine creative intelligence. It is that spark back of all life that is ever so gently and lovingly nudging us to embody and to know and to be the truth of who we are. And so, with this understanding that there's only one thing going on, and that is God, with this understanding that we are God expressing so beautifully in our own unique individual way, I say thank you. Thank you for this energy of life, of light, of beauty, of peace. Thank you for this understanding in our hearts that we are powerful, we are magnificent, we are creating an extraordinary life, and we are living out loud. We are living out loud in our own authenticity. And so breathing into the heart space and allowing this energy to expand within our own bodies, expand out to each and every person in this room and online and in our community. This energy of love permeates everything. I feel it, I know it, I be it, I am. And I now release my words, knowing that all is in divine flow, all is in divine order. And it is done now. It is done now. And so it is.
Now that I know I'm God, I can't hide behind this old facade. I can't lie to myself or know that I'm not perfect health. I can't live without your love. I can't live without your light. I can't live without your message. I can't live without your warmth. I can't live without your wisdom. I can't live without your message. Can't live without your message. Now that I know the truth, I can't go back to what I used to do.
Thank you, everyone. And I have a few people to quickly thank. Our board members today, Jim and Tony. Our setup, Lori, thank you. Greeters, Women Terry. In our bookstore, we have Marg and Chris. In our sound booth, we have Dane and Carrie. And on camera, Kimoni? Is that how you say your name? Kimon. And thank you. And Tony. And our practitioners today, Margaret Ann, thank you for your beautiful, beautiful meditation. And Judy, thank you for your beautiful words of wisdom. And of course, thank you to the Queen Street Band. Bless you. Thank you. And thank you to all of you. Thank you to all of you online as well.
And
many
thank
blessings.
you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. My honor. Thank you. And have a wonderful week.
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand. Put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Oh, another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know, we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see, wait and see. Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. And you just wait